We don't need no stinking cold open. And welcome to the 40th episode of the Burning Ewok podcast. I'm your host, Justin Granz, and with me as always,
Chuck.
And
Dan.
All right, so we had a 2-week hiatus, and now we're back in full force. We're all well rested because we had spring break, and nobody had to deal with leaky ceilings or sick kids or car repairs that cost $4,000. Did any of you?
I did have my roof repaired. I had a leak.
Yeah, I got a leak right now that I got to take care of, and I had a $4,000 car repair, and I had a child that was on his deathbed for 4 days with the flu. So.
Oh God, that's the worst. I had a cold, but it wasn't that bad.
I felt bad for him because that was his spring break too, and he had missed a couple baseball games, and it's just not fun.
No.
Yeah. It was flu B, right?
Yeah, it was flu B.
Yeah, that's no joke, man. The flu B was the worst.
Yeah.
It like came through our house too, and everyone I've talked to who's had flu B was like coughing for weeks afterwards, and just
he still has a little bit of a cough left.
Oh, that's.
But he's back. He just played a baseball game in the freezing cold, and he did all right, so it's all good.
That's good.
Yeah.
That's good.
We had to drive all the way out to St. Viator. I don't know, Arlington Heights. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
It was a nice little area. It was a nice looking school. Oh. Yeah. They beat us.
Big sports school.
Is
Big
it?
Sports school. Oh yeah.
Oh, yeah. They were good. They were good. We should have won, but they were good. They beat us fair and square.
Mm-hmm.
They beat the kids. I didn't.
Yeah, that school like pumps out D1 full-time full scholarships like every year in like every major sport. Yeah.
Wow.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, good to hear. Anyway.
Football, baseball, basketball, all three.
Good for you, St. Viator. Anyway, how are you guys doing? Anything up with you guys? Before we dig in.
A lot of TV to cover. I've been watching TV I stopped playing out of the park baseball a few weeks ago. I picked it up for maybe 45 minutes over the last 3 weeks. So I've been filling the time with a lot of TV, catching up on shows and whatnot. So we'll go through that in a little bit here. But
yeah, we're going to talk a lot of TV stuff too, because I got a lot to cover there.
Mm-hmm. Well, I got more too. I totally forgot. There were 2 other shows that I watched, so I'll give a quick rundown on a couple more from our list later.
Nice. Okay, and I just thought of another one myself. Anyway, what are you going to say, Chuck?
Oh, real quick, I did a journey from Texas to home. That was fun.
Yeah, how was your pilgrimage?
It was good. It was holy.
Okay,
the winds,
go ahead.
The winds were insane.
So I saw a video you posted though, where your entire tachometer was like going nuts. Was that real?
That was just the camera, like how it was.
Oh, okay. I wasn't sure if it was the way the shutter speed was catching it. Okay.
So, because there was one cylinder down, the check engine light flashed the whole drive home. So I'm like, it's okay, I guess. But it made it. So, no, it was so windy. Like, I don't know if you guys saw like satellite images, but it was just like dust all across like the panhandle of Texas and everything, and Oklahoma, of course. And so like I drove that whole day. Just the winds were just like you're just like back and forth. Semis just tipping over because the winds were so bad. It was crazy.
Get any tumbleweeds?
Oh yeah, tumbleweed. Oh yeah, tons of them. Tons of them.
Did you take one home?
No.
Okay, so funny story about
weeds, dude. There's just weeds that blow around.
Okay, I got a story. So one of my favorite stories about my grandmother and my grandfather would be they would tell us like stories about going on vacation with my dad and my aunt, and my grandmother is very fascinated by she was a wonderful person who was like just fascinated by every facet of life and loved nature and loved the outdoors, loved to swim, loved the ocean, loved everything. And they're driving out west and they saw a tumbleweed. And she's like, I have to have a tumbleweed. So she got a tumbleweed and put it in the back seat with my dad and my aunt.
Oh no!
And they just continued driving. And as they're driving, if you know what a tumbleweed is, it's basically like a giant burr. And it's got all the seeds on it and all like the little prickly things and everything.
Sure, yeah.
And as they're driving, everything just kind of falling off of it and falling over, and the kids are in the back, just covered in all this crap, and the thing's disintegrating all over the back of the car. So, kids, never pick up a tumbleweed. Just let them be.
Yeah, just leave them alone. They're just
I made that mistake once coming back from Vegas in my old
Oh, you did?
66
Okay.
Mustang, and had one just plastered to my front grill, and I get back to the valley, and I'm like, oh crap, I got a tumbleweed on front of my car, so I went to grab it, and I grabbed it, and it I just freaking sticker
Just
stuck
ripped
all
you up.
through my hand.
Yep.
Yeah, it was not fun.
Did you just humble brag that you had a 66 Mustang?
I did. It was a piece of shit. It looked nice, but it ran like crap, man.
Oh, 66 Mustang.
I didn't even hear you say it. That's so funny.
Oh, yeah.
The things we
Amazing.
pick up. Yeah.
Dude, at
Our
one
guys,
point,
Yeah.
I'm driving down the road in the car once after I first got it, and this wasn't right after I first got it, but I had gotten it. It's a inline 6,
Mhm.
and I'm driving down the road, and I hear like a ping ping clunk, and the U joints on the drive shaft went, and it
Sure.
dropped forward.
Oh no!
And luckily, I was coming up to a stop sign. Otherwise, the car probably could have gotten launched end over end, man. But
They
yeah,
did that on Mythbusters. They did.
yeah,
Yeah.
yep. Good times, man.
Nice.
Yeah.
All right.
So,
Well, we're going to do a little new feature today.
Yeah.
Oh, it's not really a new feature. We did this once before where we did a top 5. We did top 5 Gene Hackman moments, right? So we got a new top 5 list. Dan, this was your idea, so I want you to take it away, and why don't you go first?
yeah. So I kind of came up with this idea. I ran across a fun video talking about how good of a end credits Predator was, right? Because instead of just the straight up black roll, the scroll, they stuck in these little clips of the actors and actresses on set, or they're being fierce, and all of a sudden they just turn to the screen and go, hey, and give a smile and a thumbs up. So my top 5 end credits, in the way I kind of prefaced to you guys, was it could be anything. It doesn't have to be the scroll. It could be like Avengers or whatever, with the end credit scene, or just something leading into it.
Hey, just don't ruin anybody's.
I'm not ruining anybody's.
All right, go ahead. Dan's top 5.
So my top 5, Predator, right? Because I love the corny smiles and stuff, and then Kill Bill number 2. Not necessarily in order of my favorites, but Kill Bill. Just the little introduction clips they do I think it's at the end of Kill Bill 3. I don't think they do it in the first 2. I think it's just in Kill Bill. Is it Kill Bill 2? Or sorry, Kill Bill Part 2. Yeah, it's in the second one. It's not in the first one. It's in the second.
Yes.
Let's see. What else did I have in mind? Because I had a long list and I cut it down. Oh yeah, Tropic Thunder, man. The scroll starts and then you start hearing some music, and it's Tom Cruise's character Les Grossman doing his little dance. And 2 Halloweens ago, I did Les Grossman as my Halloween character, and I got that dance down, man.
Awesome. That is.
Yeah. Next one of the most iconic endings of an 80s movie, Breakfast Club, with Judd Nelson, walking across the football field and throws his hand up in solidarity and in defiance, right? And cue Simple Minds, right? And then the last one, I saw this a long, long time ago, Rumble in the Bronx. Jackie Chan's gag reel at the end, all of his stunts, but that I'd never seen anything like that before, and it was really cool.
The first time when Rumble in the Bronx came out, I remember going to see that. Chuck, I don't know if you went with us opening night when it came.
I think so.
I think you might have been with us, but it was a big group of us that went and saw it, and the end credits. I mean, the movie is amazing in itself. Having this icon in China finally come over to America, and
Yep.
get some Hong Kong cinema, and the end credit sequence, because I think that's the one where he jumps on the hovercraft and breaks his leg.
Oh, okay.
Mm.
Yeah,
I don't
and
remember.
it's either that or I think it's that one. I don't think it was Super Cop. Anyway, but like seeing then like how they filmed and then they show him put the cast on, and then he's like fighting later on, and how they hide the cast and all that. It's like the first rated R movie I had. Like, well, I let Will watch when he was younger.
Oh,
Roman
cool.
LeBron. It's not really an R-rated movie as far as I'm concerned. It's an R-rated. It's rated awesome.
Right.
All right. Well, let's throw it over to Chuck. Chuck, what's your top 5?
Chuck's
All right,
top
so my
five.
top 5. Okay, I got Animal House because the end of that movie they like break out every character and like what they go on to do, and I just love that. And I don't remember, is that the first movie that we ever see that trope in?
Might be.
I don't
I don't
know.
know.
And then it can't be, right? Because they've been making movies forever. But anyway, so Animal House was cool. I thought Bug's Life, because that was the first Pixar movie, as I recall, that did the fake blooper reel at the end, the animated blooper reel, which I remember when we saw it, we were dying laughing.
Was that scripted or
yeah.
was it like
Yeah,
the actual audio?
It's all scripted.
It's all scripted because they have
it's
to
brilliant
animate
though.
it.
Yeah.
It is really good. And then in the exact same vein, Cannonball Run. At the end of that, they also do their outtakes during the credits, which who stays for the credits? You never stay for the credits. Oh, I mean now we do.
Mm-hmm.
We've all been trained to, but back then you didn't. So, and then I also had Guardians of the Galaxy, the first Guardians of the Galaxy, when that dude, I can't remember if it was the collector, who the guy was sitting there and the dog's licking his face. And then Howard the
It's
Duck's
the collector.
the collector, and Howard the Duck's like, you let it lick your face? That's disgusting. I don't know. It just cracked me up for some reason. I don't know why. But, and then recently, I think we already talked about this on the podcast actually once, the Deadpool and Wolverine, at the end of that, where they brought in all the scenes from all the, like, the Century 21, the Fox X-Men movies, because, they're gone now. And it was just cool how they kind of paid homage to that stuff, even though Deadpool really wasn't. I guess he was a Fox. I guess he was a Fox guy.
It was Fox.
Yeah.
He was a Fox guy. So
But-
yeah,
But they're coming back though.
I know.
We got to talk about that.
We got that. We got
Yeah.
that. We got that. Yeah, it's on the list.
All right, cool.
All right. So my top 5: Iron Man 1. Sam Jackson, Nick Fury comes in, says Iron Man Initiative. That's where it started. That was like just a mind-blowing thing that they were going to start building this universe. Ferris Bueller's Day Off. The end credits. That was the first stinger I remember ever seeing, where he comes to screen. I mean, it's epic. Deadpool even did their version at the end of it. It's over. Leave. Phantom Menace. If you watch the Phantom Menace all the way to the end credits, you'll hear Darth Vader's breathing.
Mm-hmm.
And I remember how awesome that was the first time I saw that. I was like, oh, it's awesome. Yeah. Naked Gun. If you watch Naked Gun, and we're going to talk more Naked Gun later, but if you watch Naked Gun, inside the credits, there are jokes written in there and nonsense hidden inside the credits.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then my favorite might be just any old school kung fu movie you watch, any of the old Shaw Brothers, where they have the big final battle, the guy gets killed, and all of a sudden it just pans away and then it ends. Just boom, end. And then you just see like all the end credits in one splash screen, and then the movie's over. There's like no denouement, no build up or anything. It's just over.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah.
Those are good ones. Can I throw out 2 of mine that I had so I gave you guys a bunch of extras, but there were 2 I gotta say, like,
go for it.
2 of my favorites, right? So the end of the Matrix, right, when Neo, he's walking through, the crowds, and he's the one now, and he makes the phone call to everyone to wake up, and they just cue Rage Against the Machine, Wake Up. It just hit hard, man. When I love that.
That movie was badass. Yeah.
Yeah. In my favorite gag reels of all time is Talladega Nights. When they're doing the when it's him and Will Ferrell and John was it John C. Reilly are doing the commercials together. Like if you don't like Big League Chew or Big Red. If you don't use Big Red, fuck you, and all that kind of stuff. Oh man, that was hilarious. Yeah, man, good times.
Good list, guys.
Fun little
I
topic.
could not imagine how fun it would be to just be on set, like watching them play all day long.
Oh yeah.
Movies.
That would have been a blast to be like a PA on the set there or something.
And didn't Grumpy Old Men also have like a bit at the end where like the old guy was, it was like all euphemisms for like sex or something?
I think you were right. Yeah,
Yeah.
I think you're right.
Yeah.
All right. So mentioned Naked Gun. Naked Gun trailer came out today. And I had no idea they were making that. I had no idea.
Never saw it coming.
There was news about it. I just must have missed it or just didn't really. Maybe I thought it was an April Fool's joke. But oh my God, they're making another Naked Gun movie, and it's Liam Neeson as the son of Frank Drebin Jr. What do you guys think?
I know because at the end of the trailer it said, didn't it say Seth MacFarlane's involved in it?
Yeah.
And I was thinking back to he made a movie like A Million Ways to Die in the West or something like that.
I love that movie.
Which is a very funny movie.
Yeah,
and
I think that movie's fantastic.
He had Liam Neeson in it, right? I think
he's just like a bit in it, right?
Right, yeah. No. So I'm like, oh, that's the connection. And it makes sense too, because Liam Neeson is not a comedian in any way.
Neither was Leslie Nielsen before he did those movies.
Nielsen,
yeah,
exactly.
Until he did Police Squad, the show. Yeah,
right. I think it'll work.
He's deadpan enough, and I don't know. It was like it had the feel. The OJ joke in the trailer is unreal good, though. That is a great gag, and I mean, if it keeps that tone, and if they're going that direction, I'm all in. Because
I was impressed that they made that joke.
Like we haven't had a good slapstick in a while.
Mm-mm.
We haven't had any comedies like on that like trajectory of just absolute insanity. I mean, we talked about this before, I think.
Yeah.
Where like where those movies gone, and I think I brought up like the Hundreds of Beavers, and like things like that. A few that have like kind of come out and like kind of like they'll scratch the itch a little bit, but maybe this is. I hope it's good.
Yeah, I'm a little skeptical just because. I've seen so many bad Liam Neeson movies lately, and I don't know if he's just looking for a quick buck or what, but some of these are just like really, really bad.
Like Taken 6, Taken 7, Taken 8, Taken 9.
Yeah, and like he just did another one too, like I think it was like on a plane or something.
Yeah, the days of Rob Roy are long gone. Oscar Schindler, it's been like he hasn't really had a role in a while.
The Ice Road Trucker one that was on Netflix that came out like during the pandemic was
God, you're naming stuff I haven't even heard of.
It might have been the second worst movie I've ever seen. Nothing can beat the Emoji Movie. That is the worst movie ever made. The Emoji Movie is the worst movie.
Somebody had to watch it, so I didn't have to. So thank you, Dan.
I'm so glad you took the bullet on that one, man.
My kids wanted to see it, so I took them.
All right.
But I think the one hope that I have, I thought the trailer was funny. I thought it was good.
Yeah.
The one hope that I have is that the guy making it is one of the Lonely Island guys.
No, yeah, and he did the incredibly great movie I told you guys to all watch, Rescue Rangers. That's right.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. That movie was good. Way better than it should have been.
Yep, way better. 100%. Yep. Yeah. So we'll see. All right. Moving on. Let's keep talking trailers. So you guys got a chance to watch the Avengers Doomsday teaser, right? If it is even, it is the ultimate in teaser since there's zero footage of anything.
I didn't see it.
I just saw the list.
It's the chairs. You didn't see that, Dan?
I did not.
Oh, I thought we talked about it. Okay. Anyway, it's not going to ruin anything to me tell you about it. Basically, they're like, hey, new Avengers movie, and it's a camera that just kind of panning back, and as it pans back, chairs with the actors' names are all on them, and it's
Oh, okay.
every single actor. And so, I mean, it's Ian McKellen, Patrick Stewart,
Gotcha.
like all
Mhm.
the X-Men people are in it.
Yeah.
We've got all the Avengers that we
We
know of
talked
still.
about the movie, not the trailer, is what we did. We chatted about the fact that it was coming. The
Yeah,
movie
well,
was
I mean,
coming,
they're
but
they're
not
gonna
the
start
trailer.
filming tomorrow and everything, and so there's like 27 names on this list, and
Yeah.
they made Paul Rudd's a real small chair, and then it got bigger, stuff like that. So it's kind of fun. The last
Oh yeah,
chair, Robert Downey Jr. sitting in it, in
Nice.
his
yeah,
chair. So I don't know. That's kind of a cool little pump up to show that many things. I did not expect to see Nightcrawler come back, or
yeah,
Patrick Stewart and Ian McKellen to come back and
yeah,
do Magneto and
yeah.
Professor X again. So I imagine they're going to kill a lot of them.
They're gonna
Yeah.
are they like with Patrick Stewart and Ian McKellen? Are they like breaking them out of an old superhero home or something? Or
Dude,
like a
unreal. I don't like. Well,
geriatric
Patrick Stewart finally
geriatric wing?
aged. Yeah, I haven't seen
Yeah.
what Ian
Yeah,
McKellen looks like lately, but Patrick
yeah.
Stewart finally
Patrick
got
Stewart.
old.
Yeah, he's
Yeah.
old, man.
Yeah, I mean, he was old
Mhm.
when they did Logan. I mean, this is the weird thing, because I'm sure they're going to kill him. This could be like the fourth time they've killed Professor X, because they did it in
Yeah,
like
he
X-Men
died.
3. Like Jean Grey kills him in X-Men 3, and then they kill him in Logan,
Yeah,
where I don't know like how that all like which might be my favorite X-Men movie, but also they kill him in
that's a rough movie.
what is it, Doctor Strange. They killed him in that one too. So if they
Yep.
kill him in this
Yeah,
one,
they
that'll
did.
be the fourth time they actually kill. That's got to be
Yeah.
some sort of record of somebody dying that many times. That isn't Mickey 17.
Paul
Um,
Rudd.
get that
Paul
joke?
Rudd in How I Met Your or not How I Met Your Mother in Only Murders in the Building.
Only
Oh
Murders in the Building.
yeah. There you go. There
I'm
you go.
really hoping, man. I'm really
Yeah.
he shows up this season.
So I don't know. That's kind of cool. Like my whole guess is like because apparently like it's going to tie Thunderbolts will tie deeply into it. My
Yep.
guess is Thunderbolts. The reason there's the asterisk is because they're actually going to be the new Avengers, and they're just going to get wiped out in the beginning. And I'm pretty sure they're going to wipe out the X-Men. They're going to wipe out, all those different timelines. Just because it's going to clean everything up. Or I don't know. I'm not writing it. But
There's a
anyway,
movie called The Great Reset
yeah.
for everything.
Great reason. So Chuck and I watched something while we were waiting for you, Dan.
Okay.
We watched the Superman sneak peek. Did you see it?
No.
Okay, so I don't know where this fits in the movie, but there's an entire 5-minute sequence they showed. And if you remember the original trailer where Superman crashes into the snow and then calls for
Mhm.
Crypto, it's that whole
Yeah.
scene.
Yeah, it's
And
the
like
whole
where he
scene.
takes it's pretty good.
It's really funny. It's
So-
funny because the dog.
It's so touching. It's so
he wants to
touching.
play. Like he's like, let's
Yeah.
play, and he's like, no, you have to take me home.
Yeah, Crypto runs up to Superman as he's laying there bleeding out and like thinks, "Oh, he's calling me to play." And Crypto, the first thing he does is jumps right on him. And Superman's got like broken bones and everything, and he's like, "Ah, ah!" as he's jumping all on top of him. And then he tells him to take him home, and that's where he drags him off. And then he goes to the Fortress of Solitude, which comes up out of the ground, and the doors open up, and these robots come out and to pick him up and get him all healed and everything, and then they aim the entire Fortress of Solitude at the sun so the sun can heal him. It's pretty awesome, So,
Yeah,
and then it goes
cool,
into a
man.
big montage of the rest of the stuff in there, which is a lot of the stuff we saw in the first trailer.
Mhm. Yeah.
Okay.
But again, I'm going to say it, and the movie's getting a lot of mixed reactions. Apparently, the studios are a little worried about it, but other people are saying it's absolutely amazing. But word around the street is that the studios didn't like Guardians of the Galaxy when James Gunn did it also. And,
Okay.
and he
Well,
got final
James Gunn, he's pretty good.
pretty good.
So-
Good track record.
Give him the
Yeah.
benefit of the doubt.
Yeah, I give him the
Yeah.
benefit of the doubt. But I mean, man, like I keep saying, man, the world needs Superman. So I really hope this movie's good. Yeah, we need a Superman. We need a Superman. Please be good. My wife wanted to go see Sonic the Hedgehog 3 in theaters. Like really bad. I'm like, Mindy, we haven't seen the first two. She's like, I don't know, that just looks fun. I just want to see that movie. And I never took her. I just don't go see. I'm like,
Oh no!
I'll watch it, but I want to watch the first two. And so she's like, fine, when are we going to watch the first two? And then like I'm like, I don't know, they're on Paramount or whatever. So we went and got Paramount. Because she's like, you never took me to Sonic 3. I'm like, we're going to watch all of them. We're watching the trilogy. And so we watched Sonic 1, and it's not bad. Sonic 1's pretty good.
No, I've heard it was pretty good.
Yeah, it was pretty good. And then it's fun. James Marsden, who seems to be in everything right now. Everything I watch, another show I got to talk about. Every show I watch seems to have James Marsden in it, as well as the new Avengers movie.
He's in the best Easter movie ever made, by the way.
Best Easter movie ever made.
Hop.
I don't think. Oh, that's the. No.
Where it's with David Hasselhoff and.
Yeah, you know what? I never saw it.
Oh my god, it's corny, but it's really fun. Hank Azaria is plays the bad the bad guy in the movie.
I don't think
I saw
it.
The chick, the bad chick. Yeah, like
that's funny.
Yeah, it's my kids love it. We watch it every Easter.
All right.
Oh yeah, okay. I remember the movie. All right.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, so then we watched Sonic 2. Like we immediately went into Sonic 2, but we only got halfway. Because I mean, you can only. I mean, how many hours of Sonic? These are 2-hour movies. They're packed. I don't know how much you can watch how much Sonic. So like that's 3 hours of Sonic in one night. That's enough. And we cut it halfway, and then we picked it up the next day. Sonic 2. Well, I like Jim Carrey. So these are like the first Jim Carrey movies we've had in a very long time where Jim Carrey goes all out Jim Carrey.
Mm-hmm.
Like he's like Liar Liar, Ace Ventura, he's all that, you know. And so I think that's why my wife wanted to watch him, because she's like, I want to see Jim Carrey act like a screwball, and I get it. And he's really good. He's really, really good in these movies. Perfect for him. And he said he'll do them till the day he dies, because he just likes doing it, because they don't put any restraints on him. They let him do his thing. And so the second one, it's not as good as the first one, but then the third one's a banger, man. That's a good movie. Like I loved it. Like Sonic 3, really good, really, really good. I mean, and when I say really, really good, I mean they're fun. It's a fun family movie, you know. Like it's like there you go. Like probably like on par with Hop, you know, like that type of thing where it's like very enjoyable. I would definitely watch that again. You know, maybe not as good as Hop if it's like on, but you know what I'm talking about, you know.
Sure.
Just. Yeah, so I don't know. Like I was kind of like, you know, I kind of slept on those movies as video game movies, which makes me come to my next point, which I'm sabotaging you, Chuck. Are you gonna go see the Minecraft movie? That is getting decent reviews right now. It is not getting hate.
No, I'm a huge Minecraft guy.
Yeah.
I will probably see it.
In the theater? Are you going to go and pay it? Like,
I don't know, man. I don't know. Because I'd have to drag my wife. My kids aren't here. My kids would go see it with me.
Oh, and they're both away now.
Yeah, they're both away.
Oh,
you while you contemplate, both of my boys are going to see it on Saturday.
Hell yeah.
Tristan and his friends are planning on dressing up.
Wow.
Oh,
yeah.
Shit.
Okay, and this is what I was talking about. We talked about this months ago. We talked about this.
And Braden and his friends, they're all juniors in high school. He's got like a group of like 10 kids that are all going to see it.
There you go. It's going to be huge.
I mean,
I told you, man. I told you it was going to be big.
Think about it. It's like they've been playing this game for like 10 or 15 years now.
Mm-hmm.
Longer.
Yeah.
Probably longer. I mean, I think, when did it come out? 2008?
Yeah, I can't remember when Alpha and Beta dropped. I wasn't playing it back then.
Yeah,
I didn't play it until my kids wanted to like learn.
I'm pretty sure Braden was playing it at like age 4 on the iPad.
You know? Probably.
Yeah, I want to say like Will was playing it right around 6 or 7.
Yeah.
So anyway,
sure.
Yeah, I mean, it's not getting hate. I mean, nobody's saying it's amazing. I mean, maybe it's on par with Sonic. I don't know.
For the love of God, I mean, how many movies do you make with Jack Black where he just plays the same character? I feel like he's just in all the movies that have anything to do with like
He's a
video
meme
games
now.
or
He is.
yeah,
Oh yeah. But I mean, he knows how to embrace it
yeah.
and make a ton of money off of it. So he's
Kids
a
love
genius
him,
with
too.
that. Yeah.
But if you go all the way back to even what was that School of Rock? Like that was he wasn't a known name then. And
He had his breakthrough with what is it?
he was in
The
High
movie.
Fidelity.
Yeah, with High Fidelity was like his first
Yeah.
like big like, oh my god, who's this guy? Yeah.
Right.
And I mean, and by the time he was School of Rock, he was doing Tenacious D at that time, I think.
Yeah.
So anyway.
I don't know that School of Rock and Tenacious D had a lot of crossover though.
No, there isn't. But well, except for that love of music, that whole thing. I mean, it definitely shines through with him. And man, his Captain America videos during COVID are incredible. If you ever get a chance to watch those trashy videos, hysterical.
Never saw him.
And he does another video, Chuck, where he goes to the pinball museum that we went to in Vegas.
Oh yeah?
Yeah, and he spends a day there. It's pretty funny. I'm like, yeah, we were there.
That's awesome.
900 pinball machines all cramped into like a little strip mall store. Yeah, it's fun. Yeah.
So let's real quick. The Jack Black, is he stable? Is he because I get a real big Chris Farley kind of vibe.
I don't. I think he's really stable.
No way.
I think he's
stable.
I think he takes. I don't think he takes care of himself in the I want to get rid of my gut way, but I don't think he is of the Chris Farley, John Belushi ilk of
No, I don't think so.
crazy fat guy. It goes nuts and because a lot of the stuff he does, he's like super family man too. Because like I was saying, those Captain America videos he's making with his kids.
Right.
He does that stuff, and he goes in the video. He did an entire museum. He's with his kids. He does these video game movies because of his kids.
Sure.
And I think he's also a huge nerd at the same time.
All right.
Yeah. And that's just from like what I gather. I really hope not.
Okay.
I hear about any celebrity having issues like that. It kind of bums me out, even if I don't like them.
All right. Cool.
Yeah.
Good. I don't want to lose another one.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, he's done a lot though. Farley and Belushi were like flash in the pans. But Jack Black's been around for a while.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, Farley was still really young, but but he'd been around for a while at that point, right? Like 10.
Yeah, but his career was just taking off. I feel.
Definitely was.
Oh, he had a long career ahead of him if he.
Yeah.
If he kept it together. Yeah. Same with John Belushi though.
Are we ready to go into Daredevil? Because I have a good segue.
You want to hit Daredevil that quick?
Severance first, man.
Well, all right. So we got to come back to the celebrities that are big nerds because there's a Daredevil tie-in there. That's what I was going to segue to.
Okay.
I don't know. Do you want to hit it now or later?
Take it away, Dan.
Let's do it. Let's go Daredevil. We're talking Daredevil.
And not necessarily Daredevil.
Spoilers, everybody.
I came across a video of John Barenthal's podcast, and he's got Deborah Ann Woll on, and she apparently is a huge D&D nerd. Huge. She has like regular games, and I think they're on YouTube or something, and she's the GM, and she's trying to explain to John Bernthal what that means and how it's run and why it's fun and everything. And you gotta watch the video. I'll send it to you later tonight.
Okay.
Watching her trying to explain it and how she does, and he's like, because John Bernthal is like he's totally Punisher. So you should just kill him anytime you want. She's like, yeah, man. If I get mad at him, I just drop him in a pit and he's dead. And it's like her explaining, and she's like, it's just like acting, but with your friends. And there's no pressure. There's no pressure except to people don't have fun at the end of the night. So I'll send it to you. It was really, really cool, and it makes me want her character better fucking come back later in the season.
She's I don't know if she comes back this. I know she's definitely in season 2.
Yeah.
Haven't they already started filming, or?
Yeah, they started filming.
Yeah.
Yep. Did they greenlight 2 and 3?
I have not heard, but I wouldn't be surprised if they have 3.
I'm so happy because the quality of the show is off the chain. Like, it's so good.
I wish you would have watched the last episode so we could like talk unhindered on
Well,
this.
go
About
ahead and talk
Muse
about
and
it.
how
I don't
we
give a
end
shit.
it, man.
Fucking don't. I don't care. Tell me all about it. I'll watch it anyway.
So anyway, we got last time we only talked about the first 3 episodes, so we have like 4,
Yeah.
5, and 6, and 7, I think.
Oh,
Yeah. So
We got a lot of episodes.
We have a lot to talk about because I love. So the girl.
Last
with the
thing we
daughter-
saw was White Tiger getting shot. That was
Right.
the last thing we
Yeah,
discussed.
and his daughter's all super pissed about it, and she's like, she wants to go
It's-
figure out what happened.
Yeah. So in the comics, she becomes the next White Tiger.
Yeah, I figured as much.
Obviously, yeah.
Yeah.
So I was
like-
surprised like they haven't handed off the amulet to her in any way, shape. I mean, she's
Well,
a little
my-
young yet. She's a little young. Like they could give it to her in a few years.
Well,
She's
my
still
favorite
around.
part.
Matt has it, right?
No, it's isn't it? It should be in lockup.
No, so that's like the thing after, like in the next episode. So in episode
yeah,
4,
They gave him all the stuff.
all the stuff as his lawyer,
Yeah.
they give him
Yeah.
all the effects.
Yep.
Yeah, which I thought probably they would. That's what I thought was like, hey, they're gonna
Give-
keep that as evidence.
Or give it to the
And,
family, if anything.
Yeah.
Well, or Fisk and his crew are going to steal it. That's
Yeah.
what I thought, right? But yeah, they put it like in a big Manila envelope and handed it to him.
I remember that.
So
I
there's
don't know what.
so the last episode I watched was the one with the Muse in it, and she goes to find him. Now a lot's happened, but because Kingpin's become the mayor, and he's like making like that episode is so good because he kind of slowly goes back into his old ways, and Daredevil goes right back in his and they keep jumping back and forth, editing, but cutting back and forth between the two, and it's just so good.
Wait till you see the most recent episode if you think hey,
Yeah.
that's cool.
So can we go back an episode?
Let's go back a
Sure.
couple because we have to at
about
least
the-
talk about the Punisher.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
oh
Yeah.
shit, yeah, that
So
was great.
So let's start there, right? So I think the last time we talked about this, I made the prediction, which I think was an easy one, that because of the tattoos that the cops were wearing, the Punisher. I thought the Punisher was going to come out on his own and be like, "What the hell? You
Mhm.
can't wear my tattoo. You're not me." But yeah, he gets called out and by Matt, goes to him and trying to figure out what the hell's going on. And then that was like Fisk unveiling his port project, right? All of that, and more really just a big setup episode, right? To the impetus, which is the next episode of Daredevil coming back.
That conversation between Matt and the
Punisher.
the Punisher, Matt's trying to get him to go out and figure this out for him. He's like, "Aren't you going to go take care of this?" And he's like, "No, you need to go take care of it. This is your mess you made." And I love how he's like, "What's his name?" He kept say his name. Dude, it was such a good scene. I was like, this is like some of the best TV I've seen, like hands down. Acting, like the whole thing was so well done.
It's I'm like my whole opinion of it is like Charlie Cox found a happy place to he locked in of what his Daredevil character is, and there's a lot of it taken from the original Netflix series, but then a lot of the fun that was in the She-Hulk series, because that Daredevil is just it is like yellow Daredevil, lots of fun, lots of jokes, very much more like the comic, like old school comic of it. And now it's kind of found like this happy medium place where it's not all dull and self-loathing that the Netflix kind of over a period of like 3 seasons plus extra, you're like, all right, buddy, we know, even though you got a sad life, you're still, Daredevil.
Yeah.
And I think the Punisher, the John Barenthal stuff, that fits right in with the 2 seasons of Punisher, and it flows perfect. That is great. I love the Punisher though, the first 2 seasons of that. So I can't wait to see the new Punisher show that they're making. But having like that play off each other, it just feels more like it's more fun and serious at the same time. I just really like the balance. I was trying to find like holes to poke in it, and I got a few little things where I don't know if they really handle his power set well. Like the bank heist scene coming up when we're going to talk about, like he's like
Mm-hmm.
blocks away from walking out and he's hearing like the voices. It's like, it's a little far. Those walls are a little thick. I mean, really, you're going to hear all that. It doesn't really work that way, like with his stuff, but it works for the show. So whatever. Everything else is good enough that, you know, and it's just like he always seems to get beat up by guys that he should beat up a lot easier.
Yeah.
Like, dude, come on, man. You have like all these abilities. You're whipping everybody, and then like, but you seem to like play down to whoever you're fighting. Whether it's like a
Well,
regular thug or
so I got a
something
theory
else.
on that, right? And because I was also thinking the same thing. It's like, hey, in the first series, he was able to, take on that whole apartment building of guys. The one take 13-minute cut, right?
Typically, that's how you would do it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. But at the same time, by the time you're done with the Netflix series, he's had 3 years of preparing for that, right? So you're used to it there. In this series, he's been out of the game
Okay.
forever. He
And
hasn't been
yeah,
spending
Yeah.
all that time, right?
true. True.
Yeah.
I'm going way geekier than I
Yeah.
usually go here, but
Yeah.
You?
yeah,
Yeah,
No.
you totally did right there, and
No.
I appreciate
I
it.
did.
I
Yeah.
appreciate it, Dan. Well, the other thing is too is, and they really don't talk about Muse's power set because Muse in the comic, I mean, he is very accurate to the comic, except for one thing. He's got actual abilities, and they don't talk about that in the show. So, I mean, you could almost say that he has them, and they just never explore it. He's got an ability that anything around him, it dulls the senses. So, and I really
Oh,
wish they
okay.
would have
Ah,
like gone on and said like that's how he's putting all these murals out there and nobody's seeing it because just
right.
him being able to dull senses, he can do stuff and nobody really notices him. And he
Wow.
makes him a much more difficult fight for Daredevil because
Mhm.
Daredevil's all senses. And so
Yep.
I think that would have been a really fun thing to do like they've done in the comics. They don't do that here. But
Oh, that's
I guess I
unfortunate.
can then like have my own headcanon say, well, maybe it is that. But anyway,
Okay.
I think Muse is super creepy, super cool. I want to talk
Oh,
about it
he's
more,
creepy
but
as
the last
hell.
episode is a lot of Muse, and I want Chuck to just see that on
Well,
your own.
before we go to that bank heist episode where he's in the bank, and then at the
Hmm.
end he like grabs the dude's mask and he runs after that guy and he jumps him like under the bridge or whatever. I'm
Mhm.
like, what the hell? Oh, because he walked away. I'm like trying to figure out what was his.
Oh no, he wanted to have the cops catch him, so he broke his leg, so he couldn't go anywhere.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
I was
he
like,
he like
damn.
legitimately breaks his leg in the most disgusting way possible and leaves him there
Yeah,
for
it
the
was
cop.
awesome.
Because like Spider-Man would just tie him up with webs and go. Daredevil
Yeah,
doesn't like tie him up there. He just breaks his leg.
right.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm like, it was brutal as hell. It was awesome. It was so awesome.
yeah.
Yeah.
Go ahead, Dan.
So let's talk about that. It's fun because it's with Miss Marvel's dad. The
Thought it was
whole
great. Loved
episode,
it.
right?
Mhm.
And by the time they're done, and he comes back, at the end to bring what was it that they
The
found, like
gem.
the
The
gem,
diamond.
right?
Yeah,
The
The
diamond.
diamond.
yeah.
He comes to which I'm sure you know something about that diamond, or there's some significance to that diamond, right?
I don't think so.
From the comics? No? Oh,
No,
okay.
there's nothing. I think it's just the MacGuffin for the show.
MacGuffin.
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay, cool. But he comes it back, and they're chatting, and like all of a sudden he's coming over for dinner, right? That was awesome.
But my thing is, I really, really want to have an episode where he actually does go to dinner. I don't think I'm going to get that.
I think we're
I don't know,
gonna get
man.
that at the end. It's gonna be the end scene in the Avengers where they're sitting there eating shawarma.
If
That's gonna
if
be
they
the
have
cutscene.
that entire family, I don't know if you guys watch Miss Marvel, but the family is
Mhm.
what makes that show.
Oh yeah.
And like the father's the best. He's so good in it. But even the brother who's like super devout Muslim and everything, and like has to do everything by the rules and everything. Then Kamala's the big dreamer, and of course she turns into Ms. Marvel. And the mom's great too, but the mom's like holding back things with the rest of the family. It's a great show, and
Mhm.
it's just weird how Daredevil, of all the things Marvel in the last 5 years, has had the best grouping of continuity and like kind of tying these universes together without being obscene about it. You
Yeah.
know, because the adding of that, and I like how proud the dad is. He's even got a little Funko Pop of his daughter.
Yep.
You know, and like those little
He
bits.
made it.
You
He
know, I
made the
mean, he's
Funko
got the
Pop.
connection with She-Hulk. Even he's got the connection with, it just kind of it's nice. It just does it well, and I don't know. I think Marvel kind of maybe figured out a good formula for a TV show. So moving
Mhm.
forward, if they keep these types of formulas, because like, Secret Invasion was a huge bust, and then like you had some other problems with some of the other COVID ones. Although Agatha was great, I shouldn't say that. Agatha was really good.
That was good. Yep.
Yeah, that had a really good flow to it also. I don't know, so maybe they're really figuring it out, and yeah.
I didn't watch She-Hulk. I hadn't really heard a lot about it though.
Check it out.
It's fun.
Check
It's
it out.
fun. It's a good
Yeah.
show.
It's fourth wall breaking. It's almost like it's a more lighthearted version of Deadpool in a lot of ways. And it really goes to like some D-listers in the Marvel universe, like
Okay.
the Leapfrog, which was like something that was in like half a panel of a Spider-Man comic, or the Wizard, are like some of like the Wizard, like is one of the actually Wizards in Secret Wars. Now that I think about it, that's funny. Um,
Hmm.
so they've got like these like really like low level villains or superheroes that screw
Mhm.
up and need representation, and then she's
Okay.
representing them. So
Because
it's a really fun premise.
I remember seeing the ad and I'm like, wait, She-Hulk is a lawyer? I'm like,
Yeah,
it just didn't connect
yeah,
with me. I was like, I don't.
yeah. She's a lawyer. Yeah, that's what it is. And the comic breaks the fourth wall also.
Right.
So the
But
comic is like, so they steal a lot of that from the comic, and the way and was it Tatiana Maslany? She was the one who did Orphan Black, and she plays
Mhm.
like 50 different roles of herself in that show. She's great. Like, I just want her in anything. I'd watch her in any show. So she's worth it just for that. And it's goofball. A lot of goofball stuff in it. I think people. I don't know. I don't know. It's good.
I know we got to get to Severance and talk about a couple other things that we've
Yeah.
been watching, but let's just flash forward past the bank episode and get back to the last one Chuck saw. Right, well, there's going on in that one. We see, I think that's the one where we see Wilson Fisk's has Vanessa's lover
Look at 'em.
chained in the basement
Mhm.
somewhere, right?
Yeah.
So we see that whole interaction, and that's kind of like it's very I don't know, Silence of the Lammy, right? Where he's testing himself and his resolve to stay on the path that he is
Yep.
by keeping him in there alive and not
Yep.
killing him, right?
Yep.
That's
So,
like
oh man,
that's like his canary in
In the coal mine. Yep.
in the mine, right?
Yeah.
And when he breaks, it's it's going to be with him, right? And just like you were talking, Chuck, the editing between the fight there and Matt's break,
Yep.
which is being white lion,
White Tiger's daughter.
White, yeah.
White Tiger.
Daughter,
Yep.
White Tiger's daughter. That is, both of them breaking and going, you know what? I just can't hold it back anymore. I am who I am, and that's where I'm going to be. So great episode.
You made me think of something, Dan.
Okay.
I like everything you said there because it's just like, yeah, I think you're 100% right. But after even Fisk has his breaking point, obviously he kills that dude, whatever, and then whose fault is it? It's Daredevil's fault. He blames
sure.
Daredevil. He's the victim. This is the guy that made me turn back into this monster because he couldn't control himself. Yeah,
Sure.
that's a really good. I hope it goes that way. And well, I know there's some things that happen in 7 that are going to lead into this as well. So I can't wait till you watch it, Chuck. 7's a great episode. It's a good one. Yeah.
We got 2 episodes, right? So we have 2 more after.
Yeah.
Then we're done with the season, right?
Yeah, it's just 9 episodes, right?
So you'll have 2, and then we prep for the finale, right? In on April 15th.
Yeah, and then a week later we get Andor.
Yeah.
Ooh.
That's
So
really awesome.
in the meantime, we have a finale of our own to talk about. Severance, man. Dude, that's a pretty messed up show. That's all I gotta say.
Okay, so like my wife kind of got a little like whatever. It's just weird for the sake of being weird. My parents were saying the same thing. They love season 1, season 2. It's a little too weird for me. And my whole thing was it wasn't weird enough. Like I'm like, bring it. I love it. I nothing else is like it on TV. So it's just like I want something different. And this like feeds it all over the place to me, and I really don't think it's that weird.
Yeah, I don't think it's that weird.
Messed up, yeah. Because I mean, the twist in the last episode, I didn't expect. I didn't expect him to like the camcorder conversation was masterful.
Oh,
yes,
masterful,
really cool.
Amazing.
Yeah, but the twist that happened within there, where the innie decides, I'm not letting you kill me. As soon as you get what you want, I'm done.
Yep.
And seeing his reaction, the Audi's reaction to say, wait a minute, whoa, like he's losing him each time, and how does he recover it, and how does he, hey, we're in this together, how do I get his trust back, and just continue just losing it and getting further and further away from it. Oh my God, I did not see that coming. And it was so, I thought like we were going to focus on something else for the finale, and it became that was the focus. And like, how is he going to still? And he's still heroic in that he saves her. He saves what's her, Gemma, but not for him. It's just like, okay, you're out and you're free to do your thing, but I have my life now. But like, I don't even know where that goes. I have no idea.
It's it ends in a way kind of like the Graduate, where you're like, okay, now what? Like, all right. But no, I thought when in that conversation where they're talking to each other, and his Audi miss, he calls her Helly. He doesn't call her Heliar. He calls her Hillary or something. Helene. He calls her Helene. Yep. That was it. That was when he lost him. I was like, oh shit, dude.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So Frank, right? It's Frank, right? What's his name's character? My brain's not working. John Turturro's character.
Yeah. Irving.
Frank,
that's right? Irving.
Irving. Frank is the Christopher Walken's character, right?
Yes.
Yeah. So, them, and then Irving getting on the train, right? Is Irving still on the train? That's what I want to know. Or did he get off the train?
I feel like he left. I feel like
I don't know,
because
that's
the
a good
idea
question.
was if he stayed, he would be executed.
Right, but so like I feel like Irving's character is like the focal point of like this whole resistance to the Severed, right? Because he's got like that trunk filled with all of the documents. He knew about the Black Door like before everybody else. Like, how did he know about that? He's making phone calls to people. Who's he calling?
Nobody knows.
We don't know, right?
Mm-hmm.
So he's like, the resistance. Is he working with that other doctor the whole time?
Maybe.
So he gets his dog, gets on the train, and Christopher Walken is supposed to be like some sort of he's like the fixer. Is he like? He's like the strong arm of Lumen.
Oh, Lumen.
Is
maybe?
that what?
Yeah.
Yeah. So
it's like pretty neat twist.
It's a big, it's a big mind fuck. And do you guys feel bad for Mr. Millicek?
No.
No, not at all.
I do. I totally do.
That sucks.
Okay, why?
Sucks.
Why?
Because he's just like he's doing his job and he wants to do his job good. Right?
But he's like corporate stooge.
But I mean,
and he doesn't do his job well.
I mean, I think he does the job well. It's just everybody's like the worst fucking employee ever, right? Everybody's so bad.
Okay, I don't know. This is like, is Johnny Lawrence or Daniel LaRusso the real villain of the Karate Kid?
Yeah.
His bosses suck. his secretary sucks, Mrs. Like the little
Ms.
girl.
Wong. Oh
Miss
yeah,
Wong.
yeah.
Miss
Super
Wong.
passive aggressive.
All of his
Yeah.
employees hate him, and it's not his. They don't really hate him. They hate him because they think he's the corporate stooge.
Because
right?
he's a corporate stooge. Yeah.
Yeah, and
I mean,
don't
the
know.
actor's great. He plays it so perfect. You know, everything about him. You know,
Dude, tell me that there wasn't anything creepier than that scene where he's like leading the marching band,
Yes.
dancing, and the lights are like red and like
Is that
incredible.
worse? Is
So
that worse
fucking
than the
crazy.
dance day that they had? You know, remember they had the
It was like that, but like to the next level. It
yeah,
was,
yeah.
it was creepy.
I love that they
I don't-
kept playing even when he was trapped in the bathroom,
Yeah,
and they just
Mhm.
kept going, and they're just going, and they're just going. But then the way Dylan's able to like rally them all together at the end there, I thought was pretty great. I love Dylan.
yeah, he's
You know,
a great
I mean, that's
character.
talk about that character and like his interaction with, you know,
His
how
wife.
his Audi getting jealous of him because he's got a better relationship with his wife than he does.
He's his wife's having an affair with himself.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. Yeah.
I mean, it's crazy, but he's also like outside. He's kind of a screw up, but inside he's like this awesome. Like he's got all the tchotchkes and he gets all his jobs done. Which we still have no idea what the numbers were or any.
Oh
of that
no, we
shit.
kind of do. We know what the numbers were.
I mean, yeah, they were the four, whatever, but the four evils or whatever. But like, what was the whole point?
Well,
Like,
okay.
what?
I think that's what we got to talk about here. So, like, are we talking about like something on the level of like a Scientology? Are we talking on some like what is Lumen? What is like the overarching purpose of it all? Like, what is this group of people that they're like worshiping at altars? You know,
So-
it gives me like a very Scientology vibe,
It is
Yeah.
very Scientology.
or like
And-
some sort of like cult, like high level, like
Clearly,
cult.
because
Yeah.
the largest waterfall on the planet was not even close.
Right. So my thoughts on Lumen. So I got thoughts on both things. So Lumen and then what the project is, right?
Okay.
So my thoughts on Lumen are right is obviously the Kier or whatever, the guy that founded it was a very disturbed person, right? So he was somebody who like decided, hey, I can't control my impulses. So that you got these four impulses. I forget what they all are. There's like lust, right? Was
Yeah.
one of them. I can't remember what the other three were. But I can't control them. So I'm going to create this ideal, which is structure around how I cope with things. And either people followed him or he gathered followers to, turn it into a quasi religion or a cult, right? So yeah, very Scientology in some respects.
Mm-hmm.
But Scientology, I think, is a way different than this kind of what he's trying to do. But it's almost like there's like that really strict was it Angels and Demons? You ever see that movie or read that book? Right, where this the guy who's he's
Whipping
like
himself.
whipping himself, because he can't control his impulses, so he wears the thorns around his leg and all that in order to control his natural self.
Mhm.
He doesn't have the mental ability or the emotional ability to do it himself, so he builds a structure, a containment system, right, by just building these rules, and then it gets adopted as like this corporate religion, which there are definitely things like that in almost every company, right?
Yeah.
I see them. I've seen them at every company, but I was reading there's like Lumen is based on a real company. It's not Kellogg. It's somebody. There's like a real company from the 50s or 60s who did this. That Lumen
Really?
is based on, yes.
Craziness.
Yeah, but all right. So the project, right? The project is the numbers are feelings that correlate to those different things, right?
Yes.
And there's 25 folders at the bottom of the screen,
Yeah.
and it's Mark and his cohorts finding those feelings and sorting them into the right folder.
Sure.
That's all it is. They don't know
How do they tie to
which
his
is-
wife?
what's that.
How do they tie to his wife in
She's
the room?
because each time that they were completing a file, it was completing a new personality for her.
Each one of those files was one of the rooms that she was in,
Okay.
and every time she passed into the room, it would go into that. Like it was a different severed floor for her. So she had 25 different severednesses.
Yeah.
Right. Right.
And Cold Harbor was the last one to be completed.
Right.
So
So-
that was the last one.
Which, like, okay, so then that leaves the questions: why her? How her? And why would she die after the last one?
She wasn't going to die. They were going to kill her because
Yes, like, why were they going to sacrifice her, or kill her off, or whatever? What would be the
because
reason?
they were
dead
tying up
already.
loose ends.
She was dead
end-
already.
like, we're done with her. We'll just end it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
The whole program too. It was going to kill. They were going to get rid of.
They'd kill everybody. They were going to. Yeah.
Yep.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Bury the evidence, right?
Yeah.
So yeah, it's and why did they choose them? Well, everybody thinks she's dead. Oh, and by the way, he went and signed up to be part of the program after she died because he wanted to, get that out. So they go, oh well, if anybody can erase their own wife, we know we can control, these emotions that we need to control through this chip, and that's how they're going to get to their ideal, cure state or whatever the hell it was.
Right.
There you go. I like it,
That's
Dan.
amazing.
Good breakdown.
Wow. Yeah, really good.
Good stuff. Yeah,
I'm going to write a book. What I really liked at the end, or I thought was really ironic, was how his brother-in-law gets totally turned around and all of a sudden is writing a form of his book completely opposite of what it started as.
Yeah.
Oh, but it's for the innies. We're gonna
it's for them. It's helping them because he got because the dude's so shallow.
yeah.
He's so
So what about what's her name's character?
Helly?
What's that?
Oh, are we talking? Or are we going to talk about
Mrs. Corbell?
Miss Corbell, freaking awesome! It was all her idea.
Yep, but she was a junkie.
Yeah.
Which is why they stole it from her. Well, not the whole reason why, but it had to be Egan's, right? Yeah. So I'm guessing season 3 is going to be about Helena's character, right?
I would think so. I think
It's got to be like centered around Lumen.
She's like the biggest what factor right now. Like, because, well, I mean, I don't know. Like, I don't know how you resolve what we currently have going on right now. Like, how do you resolve Helly and Mark inside as innies? Permanently. You can't. So it's just like, how long can they stay in there before they're pulled apart? And then you've got, how do you get them back then? Yeah, I don't know. I don't know. Like, something has to give, and nothing gave in this season.
Well, here's the thing: the procedure isn't complete, right? The reintegration. So, yeah, I think that's where it has to go, because the second he leaves that floor, he's not his Audi's never coming back. I don't think.
I mean, the innie is never coming
back.
The
innie.
Well, no, that's what I'm saying. The Audi won't come back to work.
Oh, yeah. For sure.
But because he saved him, because he saved Gemma, I think he's got an obligation to do something there.
Well, can the innie leave now? Is Lumen coming after them?
Yeah.
Well, is the innie still in his head in that chip? And that's what releases it. And that's what my thought was, because if you can go to all these different locations, it's not in the Lumen building. There are other places they can go. So is everything still stored in his head and can be extracted? Like how does that work? What happens there?
The chip just blocks the memory, like, I guess separates the two, but they're both in. It's like having split personality.
I
And the
guess.
chip
Yeah.
is the chip is the switch.
I don't know, man. When she was
So
digging around in his brain and like poking in there, it was kind of
Oh
getting me.
god.
It's like, "Ugh."
so like split. So in the severed state, it's split personality. When they reintegrate, does it become like schizophrenia?
Maybe,
I don't
but
know, man.
I don't
I
think,
don't know.
I don't
Two
think that's
two
possible.
entities.
I don't think that happens. I think they stay separate. I don't think they integrate together.
You know what I think's going to happen is they're going to switch. They're going to reverse.
So my theory, like 3 episodes toward the end, before we found out about Gemma, I thought we were going to find out that like it was like Gemma was, and I was kind of right in
I
that
thought Gemma was going to be like Lumen or something like that.
I thought she was
right?
going to be Lumen, and like her outie and her innie would be flipped as opposed to everybody else. And then
Okay.
so and they were going to play off that, and they sort of did because her innie, she just happened to have 24 of them, you know.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it was like I was onto something. It wasn't quite, there though, but
Yeah, I thought the
um,
same thing. I thought it was going to turn out like the whole thing was some kind of a weird experiment on him, and she was like a Lumen agent the whole
yeah,
time.
I thought it was kind of,
Yeah.
that's kind of
Could
how I felt it was
be.
going to go. Good news is we're gonna get a third season a lot quicker than we got a second season, so the wait won't be
Yeah.
nearly as long.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's what I
Okay,
hear.
couple things. Adam Scott actually got hurt in that fight sequence where he was fighting that big
The
dude,
big
the
dude,
hallway.
yeah, I heard
Yeah,
that.
yeah. And then the best moment was when he was like holding that guy with the gun, the stun gun thing. He's holding that guy in the elevator and he
Oh yeah.
switches to
Oh
his Audi and
yeah,
his Audi accidentally pulls the trigger.
You know what? When I
Hilarious.
saw them go in the elevator, I'm like, dude, it's gonna go off.
yeah,
He's gonna like pull it because they like freak out for a
yeah.
second.
Right,
It was
yeah,
pretty
yeah,
good.
yeah.
It was pretty good.
Oh,
Yeah,
it's so funny.
dude. Yeah, I thought Gwendolyn Christie's character, the Lamb Whisperer, or
Yeah,
whatever.
she was
That
awesome.
was fantastic. Like you could tell she was like she had had enough when she just shows up. Her lipstick's like all over her face, like she couldn't put it on right. She just like look at like she was gonna wig out on them when she did.
Yeah.
Fantastic.
Love that.
Definitely
Loved
telegraphed.
seeing Sandra Bernhardt in something. It's been a while,
Yeah,
and she
yeah,
was just
totally.
as crazy and awesome as
That
usual.
was Sandra Bernhardt.
That's the
Yeah,
nurse is Sandra
the
Bernhardt.
nurse. Yeah,
Yeah,
I did not
yeah,
catch
without a
that.
doubt.
totally great. She's awesome in it. So funny.
Yeah,
Yeah, so there's some really like crazy. I don't even think cameos. Just like just like people that they pulled out. I mean, the fact that they pulled Patricia Arquette and put her in a role like that is amazing to me.
she's so
Give her
good.
this great role. I mean, awesome. It's pretty cool.
I don't think I can unsee her as Miss
Right?
Cobell.
Yeah,
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 right. Yep.
yeah.
Oh
So
man.
okay. Yeah, cool. Let's do. Can I go back to the John Marsden thing? Go switch to a different show.
Let's do
Sure.
it.
John Marston. Are we going to talk about Westworld?
We're gonna talk about Jury Duty. Have you guys heard of Jury Duty?
No, I've never heard of
With
this.
Pauly Shore.
No. So Jury Duty is on Amazon Prime right now, and it's like 8 episodes or something like that. And it's a documentary about the court and trial process. So there's a civil trial that takes place, and there's a documentary on it, except it's completely fake. And everybody on it's an actor. The judge is
It's a
an actor.
mockumentary.
Everybody's an actor except for one person in the jury.
Oh, I heard about this. I
Yeah,
heard about this.
and John Marsden is not that person. John Marsden plays himself as
Oh,
this totally
no.
self-involved actor who's in the group with them,
Oh,
and he
no.
befriends this guy, and they're just messing with him the whole time, and like everything gets weirder and weirder as it goes, and the guy is such a good person. And you could tell they all like really like him. And like the first 7 episodes are like the whole trial and then where it ends. And the last episode, because then they reveal, hey, and then the last episode is like where we almost screwed up and like all this other stuff. And they kind of go
Oh,
through
that's
the whole.
cool.
It's awesome. Really good. Really good. The guy just applied to be in a documentary and they like chose him out of like 2,000, 3,000 applicants. and they picked a
Wow.
perfect dude to do this because like he literally like anytime something weird happens he helps or gets involved and just like and he'll be like, man, this is crazy, like I'm on some reality show or something, like there's like things that are like, oh crap, he's on to us, but he never figured it out until the end. It's great.
Wow.
So
Really
it's kind
funny.
of like a very isolated Truman Show.
Yeah, very much,
Very,
very
very
much.
isolated.
Yeah, very good though. And I'm not a reality show person. I really don't. Like I've said in the past, I just really don't like the evil nature of a lot of them and that kind of stuff that comes out. And this doesn't have that. It's just pure, like it's pure goodness in a lot of ways. Like it's very nice. Everybody's like it's all cool people and it's fun. And there's
Okay.
some really funny gags in it too. Yeah.
Nice.
So, like,
I have
like now, just watch it. I don't want to ruin anything.
I have to say, I know that you're not a fan of those kinds of shows, but I've been watching a lot of Survivor. My wife loves that show, and it's not like that anymore.
But Survivor's more of a game show where there's like
No,
actual
it
contestants
is.
and things like
But
that.
they're like,
And
but even when they,
I don't necessarily count that the same as like a Forbidden Island treasure, whatever, like where they're like
sure.
where they're like pitting people against each other. I mean, unless there's like the one guy that just wants to go on the pool
zip
and
line.
the zip line.
Yeah, I'm just here for the zip line.
Yeah.
Oh,
All right.
God.
Thank you.
But anyway, no, but they literally respect each other. Like, oh, you voted me out, and they don't get mad. They're like, damn, I didn't see it coming. Like because they're all fans of the show.
Well, that's a game. But
Yeah,
they're playing
it's
a game
totally
and they all
different.
understand it's a game.
Right,
So
yeah.
so everything's out
It's-
there. It's like you
it's
can
very
fool
different.
somebody, but it's like you got me. It's part of the game. It's
Yeah,
not
it's
like
very
it's not
different,
like I'm
though,
going to
than-
play with your emotions and then really stab you and twist it. And then
Yeah.
there's a difference there, and I think you know what I'm talking about.
No, I know what you're
Yeah.
talking about, but like in the early days of the show, it was very much that
Yeah,
way.
it had
People
more of that too,
took
yeah.
it very personally. They were very hurt.
Yeah.
Because they didn't know it was a show. They
Yeah,
didn't know,
they know it was a
they
game.
didn't- Yeah, they didn't.
Yeah,
Yeah,
but like shit like The Bachelor and that kind of stuff. Like, no
that's
thanks,
just
man.
the worst.
No thanks.
It's not even real. It's all fake. That's
Exactly.
all fake.
And
Those are all
it's just
actors.
manipulation and everything like this. I mean, this show is like it's done like it's The Office or 30 Rock or something like that. It's almost like a sitcom where they do the way they do the show, but with the extra added thing where this guy doesn't know he's in a sitcom, which makes it really fun. And like the way he handles it, it's great. Yeah. So I highly recommend Jury Duty.
Jury Duty. Yes.
Let's see. You've been watching something that I want to talk about, Dan. That I want to start watching actually on HBO.
So I came across this when it came out a few weeks ago, and I started to watch it, and I got really squeamish watching it because it was so real that I turned it off. So it's a new medical show, a new hospital show on HBO Max or the Max, starring Noah Wyle, called The Pitt. Right. So here's the premise. It's do you ever watch 24?
Yeah.
The show 24. You know how every episode is 1 hour in the day.
Yeah.
So this is 14 episodes. It's a 14-hour shift in this Pittsburgh hospital. It's a public county hospital in Pittsburgh, and Noah Wyle is the attending physician. So he's kind of like if you ever watched ER, he's George Clooney from ER, which Noah Wyle was on ER, right?
Yes.
So he is that kind of guy in this show. It is very, very real, and everybody in this ER is suffering from some kind of trauma, a lot of it related to COVID. Okay. So this is, 4 years after COVID. They're in the busiest hospital in Pittsburgh. It's a public hospital. So nobody has insurance. They have no facilities, not enough rooms. There's 100 people in the waiting room at all times. So it starts out, he's working on the anniversary date of a certain doctor who died during COVID from getting COVID and not being able to be treated. And it's the first time in 4 years he's worked on that day. So he comes in, he's got 3 brand new doctors, 2 are or 4. There's 3 medical students, and then there's a doctor who is transferring in, who's like in her 2nd year of residence as a full doctor, who transferred in from working the VA for a couple of years. But her character's like, I'm only on like episode 3. Her character is neurodivergent. So it's really, really interesting character. So a lot of like quirks and little things that she does to cope with being an ER doctor, and being neurodivergent. So you have questions, or I know you really wanted to see it, Justin.
Yeah, I work in hospitals, so there's an actual subreddit for the Pitt filled with doctors, ER doctors, and they comment on the show constantly, and it is considered to be one of the most accurate depictions of an ER that they've had on film as of yet. In fact, like, there is an entire thread. There's a procedure that takes place where somebody needs to be trached, and they're having a hard time because of the amount of blood and all this other stuff, and they finally get it done by using some technique. And there's like a list of like the doctors in there are like, holy shit, I've been an ER doctor for 20 years and we've done these things. I would have never thought to do it that way, and it makes so much sense. Like that, like they are like informing doctors on certain things. It's like that good. And so to me, I'm like, that's amazing. Like, that is killer to me.
That scene is rough. When that scene happens, it's in season 2.
Episode 2.
Episode 2. Sorry. I immediately texted my youngest son, and I told him, you have to wear a helmet when you're on your electric scooter now, always. Because the patient is like brought in because he's on an electric scooter without a helmet, and he's whizzing going like 15 miles an hour, and somebody opens their car door. And he just boom, and then face first into the pavement. And the whole reason why they have to do the tracheotomy is because they can't intubate him, because his entire front of has fractured in a perfect circle, and they can't get the tube into his mouth.
Jeez.
And they do this, like, part of the scene is one of the doctors he's like the third ranking doctor there. He's like the younger guy. He's just kind of like, you could tell he's like got some issues because he's having trouble handling everything. Sticks his fingers in his mouth and makes the bones click from the face and the jaw. And you hear it. It's like click, click, click. And it sounds like in American History X when the guy puts his teeth on.
Jeez. Oh my God.
So the very first scene, the reason why I stopped it was somebody comes in, they bring a guy in. I can't remember what happened to him, but his like lower leg is basically crushed and is coming off, and they have to straighten the bone to try and see if they can save the leg, and they're pulling on the leg, and it looks like Pizza the Hut. The whole leg looks like Pizza the Hut. Like, it looks like the skin and flesh looks like cheese being pulled, and you can see the bones.
Oh, shit.
Kaylee and I were watching it, and I went, oh, Kaylee, we're not watching this. I turned it off. It's so bad.
Like, I've seen some stuff, working in a lot of ER stuff, and then working with radiology and everything. I've seen a lot of, like, bullets and x-rays, and I've seen some stuff, man. And I've also seen some stuff actually in the rooms. Try not to, but, there's times that there's emergency going on. I'm working right next to it, and it's happening, So it was, I used to be a lot more squeamish about that stuff. But, this is, of course, like, it's dialed up to 11 for the show. But I'm looking forward to seeing it.
There's a scene, I think it's in episode 2, where there's a flashback to COVID, and I think that'll hit you really hard. Yeah. I was in tears at least 3 times in episode 2.
Wow, I've heard like more episodes you'll be in tears then too.
Yeah, oh yeah.
Yeah, from things I've heard, man. Yeah.
So there, it's pretty, I'll just say it because it's pretty been covered in the news a lot the last, week or so as people start watching it, but there is a point in the series, in the show, where there's a mass casualty event, and the
Oh.
stage is set really early in the show for it. And you just knowing I heard about it, I know kind of what it's gonna be, and I know from what I hear, it just crushes you when it happens and they start bringing the people in from it.
Oh,
Yeah.
jeez.
Yeah.
But I
So,
also heard it's very, very timely, and it's something that needs to be talked about in America.
Oh yeah,
Mhm.
yeah, and just the whole show, like the cast is phenomenal. The characters are great. There's a million little backstories about the different doctors and nurses and patients and stuff. So really, really well done. It's not for the faint of the heart. It's very gory, very,
Sounds like
very
it.
gory.
Sounds like
Yeah,
it.
if you didn't like the poking the needle in the back of Mark S's head to get to the chip, you're gonna have problems with this show.
There we go.
So really, really good. Also watched the new season of Bosch hit, Bosch Legacy. Really, really good. It's one of my favorite shows, cop shows. Michael Connelly.
I could never get into it.
Did you watch
Never could get
The
into
Lincoln
it.
Lawyer? Anybody watch The
I've
Lincoln
seen
Lawyer on Netflix?
some of The Lincoln Lawyer.
So same guy writes both.
Yeah, my wife
Bosch,
likes both of these shows quite a bit.
season 1 and 2 of Bosch are the weakest in my opinion. I think they're still trying to find which characters work on the screen. And there were 7 seasons of Bosch, I think, on Amazon, and then it moved over to Freeu or whatever it is, or Freeverse or whatever it is. And they brought season 3, so they spun it off. It's called Bosch Legacy. It's about him and his daughter. Season 3 just hit. They moved it back to Amazon Prime. And there's a third series coming, which is about the lawyer Honey Chandler, and it coming, and it's oh shoot, what is her name? Crap.
I don't know. While you're looking that up, all I got to say is with Bosch, like I'll never buy a different dishwasher other than a Bosch.
Oh, dude, I have one.
It's the best.
bomb, man.
Yeah, they're. I'm not even kidding, man.
Yeah, for sure. Oh crap.
Oh, I had a Bosch. Oh no, wait, I have a Bosch refrigerator now. Yeah.
I don't know about refrigerator. I'm just saying dishwasher, man. It's like
Mimi
dishwasher.
Rogers is the.
That's a name I
she's
haven't heard in a while.
Yeah, she is great. She's fantastic. She's getting her own spinoff. So series 3 from Bosch.
Nice.
But anyways, first four episodes dropped. Great, phenomenal. And Reacher season 3 hit. Which
Man,
You're hunk.
you have been
You're
watching
hunk.
a lot. Hey, damn.
yeah, well, me and the wife, we watched it. I mean, have you seen it, Chuck?
No, I've not. I mean, I've seen bits, but
Does Renee watch it?
no, she does not.
Don't let her see episode 1 of the first season, and she will not want it. Yeah. Justin, does Mindy watch it?
She's watched it. She's not into dudes like that, though.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh God.
Yeah.
So Jana is just
that guy's not. She's more into like my type, a little bit more buff.
There you go.
Yeah, that's how I would describe you. A little more.
Reacher definitely makes you feel a little inadequate. So season 3 better than season 2, not as good as season 1, but very entertaining, very fun, and it has what's his name from Pretty in Pink and Breakfast Club? Shoot, the kid, Anthony Michael Hall.
Anthony Michael Hall.
Anthony Michael Hall plays
the
one
Dead
of the main
Zone.
characters.
The Dead Zone. Which I love.
Zone. Yep. Plays a real interesting character with a son, and good show. I like it. Fun. Worth the time watching.
All right.
Very cool. Very cool.
All right, I got one more, and then we'll close this out. How's that sound?
That sounds great.
All right. So, show on Adult Swim. It's also on Max. Common Side Effects. It's an animated show, and its premise is pretty awesome. Mike Judge is one of the producers of it, and basically it's about this guy like protesting Big Pharma and everything. They boot him out of this conference that he's protesting at. One of the people that works for that CEO actually used to go to high school with this guy, and they meet back up, and she kind of like hides her identity of who she is, finds out he's got these mushrooms that he found, and these mushrooms are able to cure anything. He snaps the neck of a bird, puts the spores on the bird, and the bird heals. That type of thing.
Right. Yeah.
And he's only got like a limited amount in this box, and he's trying to find a way to like get this to the world. Well, now Big Pharma is on his tail, trying to stop him. Because they want it. And it's like all about paranoia, and it's a lot of fun. It was like it's only a few episodes. It's not too much, but it's worth watching. It was.
Didn't we talk about this already?
Yeah, we have talked about this
Did we?
before.
Yeah, we talked about this because we talked about Utopia too, about how it was like kind of a common thread.
We did. Okay.
Yeah. I'm having some major. It's the only thing I don't remember. Did we talk about it on the podcast or?
Yeah, we
That's
did.
what I couldn't remember.
After?
I couldn't remember
We
we
did
talked
talk
about the
about
podcast, and I talked to Chuck about it before we started. I said, "Did we talk about this?"
Well,
He's like, "No, I don't think so." And I said,
No,
"Okay,
we
cool. I'll
talked
talk about it."
it. But we talked. But I thought you were talking about the conclusion of the show.
Oh yeah, I did finish it. So
Yeah.
yeah, that's what I wanted to talk about. And we're gonna.
Exactly.
I finished it. They're gonna do another season. It sounds like, and because
Oh,
they
cool.
have to. It ends on a massive cliffhanger. Anyway,
Good.
So-
good.
I
So-
don't care. I want to give it another shout out because I really liked it.
All right. So I got a question for you. Did you guys watch The Wheel of Time?
I watched the first
No.
season.
Did not watch it.
So I am hearing that season 3 is like beyond phenomenal.
Okay.
Like
Hmm.
took it. So I didn't watch season 2. Only watched season 1.
Okay.
And that season 3 has just taken it, and it's like
Is it out?
yes.
Oh,
yes,
okay.
Season 3's out. Yep. And that we gotta watch it. So
All right.
that'll probably be my next dive in is season
I'll
2 and then
Probably
season
have to start watching season 1 again to remember anything that happened. I can remember like bits and pieces, them walking through like the portals and things like that, and like certain labyrinths they were in. I remember some things, but not a lot.
Yeah, it's a rough read if you ever read
I've got
it.
the first book. I haven't read it though.
Well, what makes it so rough? Is it just graphic or?
It's very prosy. And so you ever read Brandon Sanderson?
I have.
So yeah, so like he's also really long. Like just long in the tooth,
Right. Yeah. I hate that.
very big on character development and like goes on for days talking about the littlest thing. So Robert Jordan is the guy who wrote Wheel of Time, and then he passed away, and Brandon Sanderson took over writing it.
Yeah.
And
Oh.
a pair.
But it was only like the last
yeah.
only the last two novels I think he did.
I thought it was a lot more than that, but
Well, I mean,
Match
there's
Made in
like
Heaven.
26, isn't it like 26 books or something?
yeah.
Yeah, and like so
it's
most
just-
of them are written by Jordan.
It's really confusing because the characters like flip. The names are very similar, so following along in the books is really difficult.
So it's like
because-
Lord of the Rings. You got a Sauron and a Sauron. Nobody's gonna get those confused.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
26 books worth of,
Yeah, I know.
So yeah. So it's like the whole idea is that all like magic exists, but only females can
Yeah, that's right.
possess it.
That's right.
But there's one person that will continually come along called the dragon that will defeat evil finally once and for all, that will be the only male that can have it. And so every time somebody comes along, they start essentially like a crusade to the end of the world to find and fight the evil. And along the way, they like invade all the countries and kingdoms and stuff. And then they have to be like vetted. Are they actually the dragon or are they the false dragon?
Oh.
So, but that's like essentially the story, like the premise. And anyways, season 3 is out. It's supposedly absolutely phenomenal.
Okay. Good to know.
Cool.
All right. Guess what, guys? I gotta go to work.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah. I got a downtime
working
happening.
tonight?
Yeah, I got a
he's working
downtime in
on
like
it,
20 minutes. I'm gonna sit here and work, but I'm gonna have to do
Nice.
that. Yeah, it's okay. So I think we're gonna end this one.
Yeah.
All right,
And,
it's a long one.
That's a little longer, about a half hour longer than we've been going. We've been actually pretty tight around an hour. So
Yeah.
that's okay.
So what
Hey,
happens when we miss 2 weeks?
yeah, we had a lot to catch up with. So talk some more Daredevil next week, and then I don't know, whatever else. There's some stuff we missed this week. We're gonna have to
sure,
catch up
of
with and
course.
everything. I mean, we didn't talk about any games we've been playing. Oh, yeah, I got to talk about. Let's see if I can keep going. I haven't played Marvel Snap this week.
Oh, wow.
So
Hey.
let's see if I'm still not playing Marvel Snap next week. Tune in and find out.
We gotta try It Takes Two.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, we have to talk about that too.
Yeah.
So my
let's talk about
kids
that.
were playing it, and go take a look at it. Like,
I've looked at it. Yeah.
it is really cool. The
Okay.
co-op was amazing.
Okay.
So
Cool. All right.
we'll check it out. Maybe we'll play it together.
All right. Cool, man. All right, everybody.
All right.
Click
Peace.
stuff,
Like,
do the
subscribe,
thing.
clicky clicky. Bye bye.
Yep. Tell your friends.
Yeah. Get bent.